Coming to you live from the fabulous Mediaplex in downtown Windsor, this is a St. Clair College journalism presentation.
Good evening, I'm Kyle Simpkins and you're watching Mediaplex News Now. Food and craft beer always go well together, and as Liam Higgins reports, it's becoming a monthly event at the Beer Exchange.
It was Beers, Brats, and Blues at the Windsor Beer Exchange this past Thursday. Great Thursday, held on April 17th, had a great response of Windsorites and more familiar faces for the bar's second annual food pairing and beer sampling event. The Windsor Beer Exchange and This Week in Craft welcomed Highlander Brewing from South River, Ontario for their tap takeover, including some craft beers that had yet to come to Windsor. With the South River vibe, the night included South River-born musician South River Slim providing the Windsor Beer Exchange with an evening of blues. Bar owner Josh Olson said he feels it's the overall heavy focus on local influence that fuels the bar's interest to Windsor.
Big thing we do is we focus heavily on local. So almost all the beers on tap aside from OV, which is a Windsor staple, is it's from Southern Ontario. We stay as close as possible to Southern Ontario.
With its heavy local influence, many different artists showcase their art in the bar, and Olson said the bar's music playlist regularly and more commonly features solo artists and bands of the Windsor area. Slim, who is playing at the Windsor Beer Exchange for his first time, finds craft beer to be an overall great market. While the craft beer is very common in his hometown of South River, Ontario, he said there's much more of an aesthetic to craft beer.
Where craft beer, every beer is a different beer. Like you find it's almost like fine wine, like French wine. You're going through different tastes and different bouquets and smells, and it's a great thing.
Based on the past success of events held at the Windsor Beer Exchange, Olson said the bar plans to host tap takeovers and food pairing events monthly to attract more customers and help people become more aware about their unique style of business. I'm Liam Higgins reporting for Mediaplex News Now.
Now let's take a quick look outside to our weather specialist, Brett Hedges, who is standing on the corner of University and Victoria. Brett?
Thanks, Kyle. It's 12 degrees out here, but with the help of the wind, it feels more like 10. We're going to have variable cloudiness tonight and a low of 3, so make sure to bundle up tonight. I'll be here later for your full forecast and a fun hockey fact, so stay tuned. Back to you, Kyle.
Thanks, Brett. We're continuing to bring in live musical guests here at the Mediaplex. Local musician Johnny West is joining us today.
Thanks so much, Kyle. As you said, Johnny West is here with us in the studio, and you're quite the talented performer. You not only play guitar, you play banjo, ukulele, you pretty much seem to play and perform it all. So to start with, how long have you been performing?
Well, the performance aspect of it's kind of been dicey in recent years, but I guess it started back in grade school. I was lucky to have a lot of creative friends and supportive teachers, so there were a lot of plays and talent shows and things, and a lot of fun.
So, well, it sounds like a very fun time. And what do you have coming up with your career?
Well, it's it's funny to call it a career. I've kind of made it a non-career, but I'm working on an album right now with a lot of different people I respect in the music scene, a lot of friends, and I don't want to give too much away, but there'll be at least one song about cauliflower, so it should be interesting.
Okay, and I understand you recently wrote a new song that you're going to debut right here on Mediaplex News Now, so take it away.
So many times I've wondered about you. How long have I been living without you, baby? Baby. Terms of endearment flood the brain till it's a kind of slow floating island, honey. Sweetheart, I love my ninth smallest finger, you said. I've been using strips of the skin you've been losing to make my bed. Oh, so the juggler heart of a madman, hands of an unemployed elder statesman, well, yeah, that's me. The night has 1,000 myopic eyes. They open and close and philosophize about this blurry world. We just live in it. We don't wonder how it spins or why we never roller coaster ride ourselves into a fall unless we're pushed. Don't look at me, my hands were tied behind my ankles when you fell. Once was blind, but now I see it. And wish to be made blind again. But did you know I loved you the best? Did you know I loved you the best?
Johnny West, thank you very much. Are you still undecided about where to go to school next year? Why not consider joining us here at the Mediaplex?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, cut and cue.
Good afternoon. I'm Sean Preble, and you're watching Mediaplex Live at 1.
If you want to work in the media, then you'll have to come to the St. Clair College Journalism Program, where we teach you to be a converged journalist, working in TV, radio, print, and digital.
Call 519-972-2727. We want you.
We want you.
Another special guest. Over to you, Sean.
Thanks, Kyle. I'm joined here with Ryan Burney from Crime Stoppers. Thanks for joining us, Ryan.
My pleasure.
Now, to start with, why has social media become so important to helping you do what it is you do?
Well, and with Crime Stoppers, everyone knows that Crime Stoppers is a charity, first of all, and with social media, it allows us to get the word out, whether it be that surveillance video that the Windsor Police posted to us or a event that we have coming up. We're able to post it on our Facebook, we're able to blast it out on Twitter, and we are letting many, many, many more people view those sites and see what's going on with our Crime Stoppers program.
And I understand that a student right here at the Mediaplex, Alice Hewitt, kind of worked with you the past several months, and what is it that she helped you accomplish?
Yeah, we were fortunate enough in 2012 to win a social media award, which we kind of are up against all the other Ontario Crime Stoppers, and we had the best social media site. So working with Alice, helping us promote those sites, not only Facebook, but Twitter as well and YouTube, we're able to win that award. So we're very proud of that, and we're very thankful for our relationship with her.
Well, I'm glad that she came here from the Mediaplex, and congratulations for that.
Thank you.
Now, what do you think people should know about Crime Stoppers that perhaps they don't know already?
I think most importantly, if you call us, you remain completely anonymous, number one. Number two, we're not a part of the police. A lot of people think that, oh, you're with Crime Stoppers, you are part of the police. Yes, I'm a police officer on loan to the program, but we're, like I said earlier, we're 100% charity, and we fundraise in order to pay our tipsters that reward money if successful.
Okay. Now, you did mention the Windsor Police, and so there's a distinctive kind of difference between the Windsor Police and Crime Stoppers. What is that difference?
I think if you call the police, you're not protected under that Crime Stoppers umbrella. And what I mean by that is the remaining anonymous. If you call Crime Stoppers, we have 3 guarantees, right? You remain completely anonymous, you never have to go to court, and if successful, you could earn a cash reward.
Well, it sounds worthwhile for people to call Crime Stoppers.
Absolutely. I mean, they love the fact that they can give us a call, and do the right thing, and we'll pass that information on to the police. So they can still remain anonymous, and they feel comfortable that they were able to give that information. A lot of times they're not comfortable calling the police and providing that information to them. So we give that the avenue where you can call us, remain anonymous, and we will assure them that we'll pass that information on to the police.
Well, given how much people do sometimes seem to know about Crime Stoppers, you see the ads on TV, hear the ads on the radio, how many calls on average would you say that you get, or even an estimate?
On average, on a monthly basis, we probably receive anywhere from 150 to 200 tips a month. So over the course of a year, we're looking at 2,400, somewhere around there. I mean, no, they all do not pan out, but we end up paying anywhere from $20,000 to $40,000 a year to those tipsters. So we're constantly raising money. Like I said, we're a charity. We're out there doing bingos and barbecues, and we do chuck-a-pucks at the Spitfire games. We have a golf tournament, wild game dinner. You name it, we do it to raise that money to pay those tipsters.
And if anyone's interested in becoming involved, like helping raise that money, what can they do?
Absolutely. We're always looking for volunteers. I think we have a volunteer base now of about 100, but we're always looking for more volunteers. So all you have to do is log on to catchcrooks.com, and there's a volunteer tab. Click on the volunteer tab, and your volunteering with Crime Stoppers game begins. So,
well, it definitely sounds like an interesting period being with Crime Stoppers, helping out with Crime Stoppers. And I think the most important thing is I'd really like to say thank you, Ryan, for coming here, talking about Crime Stoppers with us, and giving people an idea of what Crime Stoppers is all about.
My pleasure, and thank you very much.
And back to you, Kyle.
In this edition of 5 Minutes With, Brett Hedges sat down with CTV sports reporter Bob Belichico.
Hi, I'm Brett Hedges, and today we're spending 5 minutes with CTV sports reporter Bob Belichico. Bob, could you tell us how you got into the media business?
Wow, that's a loaded one. Graduated from St. Clair in '94, got into radio as a board op. I ran the board over at CBC as well, and then you know what, Brett, it's all about volunteering. Got my foot in at Cogeco, and I learned a lot, and that kind of propelled me into what I'm doing today.
What has been the biggest change in the newsroom since you stepped into one almost 20 years ago?
Right here. The phone. I mean, you're on it. Twitter, social media. I mean, everything is sort of right here at your fingertips. So you want something, it's right there for you, and you go with it. So that's how it's changed. And journalism in general has changed, because now you got people that, usually aren't synonymous with being journalists, becoming journalists because of social media. So you got bloggers and everything else. So it's an interesting dynamic now in the world of journalism.
Absolutely. As an alumni of St. Clair, what are your feelings about the journalism program and the Mediaplex?
Well, I'll throw that right back at you. What do you think of this place? This is fantastic. I mean, when I heard that this was happening, I thought, great. Doc Strasser's making things happen, and this place is fantastic. We never had anything like this. I took advertising, so I really don't know what they had back in the day, but just to see this newsroom and what you have at your fingertips. I went to Specs Howard, and this is pretty comparable to what we had back in the day. So, kudos to you, and you're using some nice stuff.
Absolutely. Thank you for that compliment there. As a sports reporter, do you believe that Windsor is an underrated sports city in Canada?
Undervalued, underrated, whatever adjective you want to use. Yeah, it's a golden nugget, because we have it all. We have professional sports a mile away, and we have a great local amateur sporting community. So, we have a 4-time defending national champion with Chantal Valet and her basketball team at the university. Baseball is always strong around here, and we have hockey at the Leamington Flyers and the Sutherland Cup, and the Essex 73s going for the Schmaltz Cup again, and then the Windsor Spitfires, they're going to get better, but they've won 2 Memorial Cups. So we've got a good here in Windsor, and then we got the Windsor Express as well. So it's a really good sporting community, I think.
Absolutely. We're definitely spoiled here.
Oh, I'm lucky.
Absolutely. Do you have an all-time favorite sports memory, Windsor sports memory, that you were a part of?
Oh, geez. You know what? Watching Chantal Valet, and just the way that program grew from basically nothing to what it is today, that's been one of my highlights. And also being in an environment, I think the 2 Memorial Cups were really cool. And Chris Oliver and the men's basketball team, when they won the OUA championship, you know, to have 3,000 people at the St. Denis Center, it was nuts. I mean,
I was there.
Yeah, it was fantastic. What a great atmosphere. I don't think it's got to be right up there, top 5 easy. What a
Should
great
be
moment.
interesting to see how Game 7 for the Windsor Express goes on Thursday as well.
Well, if they can pull it off, you know, I can see that place being packed on Thursday as well. So, you know, hopefully people come out and support it.
Do you think that if the Windsor Express win a championship, that would change a bit of sports culture in the city?
You know what? I think it's given a big boost to the basketball community. I know that, you know, kids are looking up to these players now because, you know, these guys have played in the NCAA, so they've played with some of the great players that are, you know, in the NBA and that are playing, you know, top level, even D League in the States. So, yeah, I think it's given a big boost to the community, and if they win, that's great for the city. It's great for the league, and hopefully the league. To me, it's parallel. If the league continues to grow, this team will continue to grow, and hopefully they can figure out, you know, where they're going to play next year and settle it all down, and, you know, give the fan base something more intimate for you know, for everybody to make it work. You know.
Well, I hope you're right. We've just spent 5 minutes with CTV sports reporter Bob Belichico.
Let's take another look back outside with Brett Hedges to find out our full weather forecast.
On this day in 1945, the Toronto Maple Leafs defeated the Detroit Red Wings in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Let's fast forward to 2014, where the Toronto Maple Leafs are using this lovely weather to practice their golf swings for the rest of the summer. Let's head over to our 3-day forecast. On Wednesday, we're going to have sunny with a high of 13 degrees and a low of 2. Thursday will be partly cloudy with a high of 13 and a low of 3. Friday will feature scattered showers and a high of 19, so expect a muggy day before it cools down to 8 at night. That's it for me at the corner of University and Victoria. Let's bring it back to the studio for more Mediaplex News Now.
Thanks, Brett. Sean's a busy man. He has another set of live guests in studio, but these ones know exactly what's under your bed and hiding in your closet. Sean?
Thanks again, Kyle. As you said, we are pretty busy here at the Mediaplex News Now stage, and I'm here with Shannon and Leslie of Spectral Solutions, and it's pretty interesting what you guys do. So what is it that you do for people who maybe don't know?
We conduct paranormal investigations, a lot of private residences, and we also conduct, from time to time, public ghost hunts.
Okay, could you maybe tell me a little bit about those public ghost hunts, just to give the public an idea?
Oh, sure. We select a historical location, like we have done Mackenzie Hall, and just in January we had done the Capitol Theater. So we arrange a date with the theater, and we rent out the building, and we sell tickets to you know, who's ever interested in coming with us. And for that period of time, usually, you know, 4 hours worth. The normal layperson can be a paranormal investigator and look for some secrets hiding backstage or behind the curtains.
Okay, now how do you conduct your investigations?
Well, our private investigations, we are usually contacted by the public and private residences mainly, and we go in, we get a little bit of history of what's been occurring, and then we take that, we have a questionnaire. A little bit of history on the events and then the location and the people as well, and then we determine whether there's enough going-ons to warrant an investigation, and then we usually schedule. We schedule the time to go in and do a full-out investigation with all our equipment.
Okay, and why would you say that? You know, I've talked with many different people. Some watch the shows on television, and I always get different varying responses about how they feel about the spirit world. Now, why do you think there are such varying levels of acceptance when it comes to the spirit world?
I think mainly it's a lot of personal beliefs. Could be religion driven. A lot of people believe that once you die, once you pass on, that's it. There's nothing on the other side. Some people are afraid of the unknown, so there's just no way it's happening. There's no acceptance there whatsoever. And then there's the crazier, more open individuals like ourselves that, hey, why not? You know, possibilities are endless.
Okay. And anything you'd like to say, Leslie?
We can't give you the answers because we don't have them. That's why we're researching everything. But I think a lot of times in life, things happen where you're kind of forced to look at, you know, maybe this does exist.
Okay, and what is the most important case that you've seen in your time with at Spectral?
Well, for the private residences, they're all important because these people, they're uncomfortable in their homes. They're looking for answers. They want peace, and your home is where you should have peace.
Or at least understanding of some understanding of what's happening. And maybe some answers. You want to know what's there, you want to know who's there.
Yeah, and we like to really focus and go all out on the ones that are involving the children. Because the children shouldn't be frightened to sleep in their own bed. You know, they shouldn't wake up screaming in the middle of the night.
And we should probably also mention we're nonprofit, so we don't charge anything when we go in, unless it's a public hunt, and then it's a nominal fee.
Right.
But for private residences, there's no charge.
Okay, and how many cases would you say you see each year?
Well, actually, it varies. I think our busiest year was in 2011, but we usually 6 or 7 cases, and then we throw in a couple public ghost hunts as well.
Okay, it sounds pretty interesting. And what would you say has been your scariest or your most tense situation on the job?
For myself, we were at a historical location in Amherstburg, a very old place. It was floated downriver from the States, one of the area's first doctors. And I was watching our monitors because we had the 4 infrared cameras, and the motion detectors are going off, and I'm like, there's something going on. So as I'm leaning over looking at the monitors, I got poked in the back. There was 4 of us in the house. 1 was to my right and 2 were upstairs. And when that happened, there was no one there. And I flew across the room and took a good hour for my heart to settle down.
And what sort of public events would you say you hold often?
Well, we do have a yearly seminar where we talk about all things paranormal, have lunch,
Try to educate.
And we usually give a portion of the proceeds to a local charity. Our last seminar, the Windsor Youth Center, was a beneficiary of the proceeds from there. And then we do, like I said, trying to have a couple public hunts where anybody can join us, and we spend the night talking ghosts, looking for ghosts, and all that fun stuff.
And how much would you say it is to participate?
It depends on what we are actually being charged, but the Capitol Theater, the tickets were $20, and we were there for 4 hours, and we had full access to all the theaters, lobby area.
And how many usually attend?
Usually we like to keep them small, maybe no more than 30, because you don't want a lot of noise pollution and interference. So.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Shannon and Leslie, for joining us here today at Mediaplex News Now. Really appreciate learning about your experiences. And I guess for now, Kyle, back to you.
Thanks, Sean. From the paranormal, on to sports. The NHL playoffs are in full swing, and with a new playoff bracket format this year, the playoffs have proven to be just as exciting as years past. Hitting the ice tonight's the sole representatives of the Great White North in the playoffs. The Montreal Canadiens look to sweep the Tampa Bay Lightning on home ice tonight at 7 p.m. If they do that, they'll have plenty of time to rest because they'll be taking on the winner of the Detroit-Boston series. Speaking of that series, Game 3 is tonight as the Bruins invade the Joe Louis Arena at 7:30. A half hour after the puck drops in Detroit, the New York Rangers and the Philadelphia Flyers will play Game 3 in their series. In the city of brotherly love, that series is tied at 1 game apiece. And out west, the Sharks look to dethrone the Kings at the Staples Center in LA. The San Jose Sharks are up 2-0 in that one. Puck drops at 10 p.m. Now on to the hardwood. In the NBA playoffs, the Atlanta Hawks play the Indiana Pacers in Game 2 of their series. Atlanta leads that one 1-0. That tip-off is at 7 p.m. in Indianapolis. The Toronto Raptors will try and even up the series at 1 game apiece against the Brooklyn Nets. Game 2 of that series starts tonight at 7:30 at the ACC. And rounding out the razzle-dazzle, both of Michael Jordan's former teams will match up. The Washington Wizards go against the Chicago Bulls. The Wizards lead that series 1-0. Game 2 is at 9:30 tonight in the Windy City. The Windsor Express won the NBL Canada Championship in front of 3,500 people at the WFCU Center on April 17th. The Express defeated the Island Storm after going down 3-1 in the series to win the championship in the franchise's second season. Over the weekend, head coach Bill Jones and 3 members of the Express represented Windsor in the NBL All-Star Game in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, and will join the rest of the team for a parade on Saturday, April 26th at 2 p.m. The parade will go right down Olette and will stop at the Spirit of Windsor steam engine 5588 on the riverfront. Of course, the Spirit of Windsor is where Windsor Express CEO Dardis Willis announced the team in 2012. One of our professors, Jana Hallam, produced this piece to showcase the journalism and media programs offered here at the Mediaplex.
Journalism enables people to be well informed. It's documenting history. It's an extraordinary way for people to be connected with their community.
What happens in the world affects us. What happens in our community affects us. What happens in the province affects us. And we get to be the eyes and ears and tell the stories. There are many stories that need to be told, and those things add value to our life.
I'm always meeting new people. I'm learning about things that interest me, like topics that I want to learn more about.
It's neat to know that so many people are relying on me. It makes you strive for perfection, or it makes you strive for accuracy.
The journalism program here at St. Clair College is a convergence journalism program. Convergence means the merging together of print, radio, and television, and the web, and putting all different stories into 3 or 4 different platforms.
In 21st century newsrooms, journalists have to be able to do it all.
We ask every one of our reporters to tell stories in multiple ways.
There's a different style of writing for print than there is for radio, than there is for television. And it's really important that the information gets out that is true to those platforms.
We are one of the few, if not the only, program that is actually taking students to a live broadcast and giving them that opportunity and that experience.
I've gained a lot of self-confidence. I used to be a really nervous person, a really shy person, but I think this program's helped me come out my shell. It's given me something that I love to do, and that's made me a better person.
I find that the students that come out of St. Clair College are already at or above where some of our broadcast employees have been over the last several years.
I feel that I made the greatest decision I could 2 years ago by choosing this program, because I have learned so much, and I think that I can only grow from here.
I would hands down recommend the program to someone considering it. I would recommend it to someone that's not even considering it. They teach you such a vast array of different skills, different platforms, different things that you could really apply to so many different careers.
Based on literally hundreds of interns I've seen over the years, St. Clair students are better prepared to go into the work environment in media than most students coming out of colleges and universities across North America.
I think it's that very comprehensive curriculum that we have that creates converged journalists that sets this journalism school apart.
Thanks for tuning in to our last live broadcast of the year. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Kyle Simpkins, and you've been watching Mediaplex News Now.
Mediaplex News Now is a production of the St. Clair College Journalism Program.